Bingo bango, stop loss just relatively below the low, TP all the way to the top. So mine all the way to the top. And if you can't get in over here, you can get in relatively over here, or there's going to be more opportunities. If the first Welcome back to another YouTube video of FlareFX, where we make trading very simple. Now, as you can see by the title of the video, this week's breakdown will be doing NASDAQ, gold, Bitcoin, and USD JPY. So it's jam-packed, guys. If you're new here, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, because I post content like this every other week. But nonetheless, guys, let's get into the breakdown. Alright, so this is NASDAQ on the daily time frame. I'll break it down so it's easy, guys. So with NASDAQ, we'll even start on the weekly time frame. We'll start on the higher time frame. So as we can see, this guy has pushed all the way to the top, making this high, and pushed all the way to the downside, and this is the prevalent low, right? So we'll consider relatively this as a low, mainly because this is the one that broke this high, guys, and this structure over here. So what we're playing in is between this zone over here and this zone on top over here. You get what I mean? So now, as soon as you understand the daily on the weekly range, it's easier for you to go to the lower time frames like your 4 hour, even your daily, so you can understand what's happening, especially in the market. So now, looking at NASDAQ in and of its own, guys, this guy sold all the way to the downside. It is taking out these lows over here, taking out these lows, even these ones, right? So now, my anticipation is that NASDAQ will come and fill out this fair value gap that we have relatively sitting here on the daily time frame. So I'll come in over here and I'll highlight this as my point of interest, right? So this is a very good one, guys. It's a generational entry, actually, because if you look at it, guys, if we can get in with nice buys over here, we can hold it potentially all the way to the top and receiving so much money, guys. So if I can come in with my GAN box and I can pull it out like this, this basically shows half of the fair value gap, right? So I'm interested in taking half of the fair value gap. I still anticipate that NASDAQ will sell off during the week, right? So I'll come in with my buy setup over here. Bingo bango, stop loss just relatively below the low, TP all the way to the top. So my anticipation for NASDAQ is that it will continue to sell off during the week, relatively into this zone, and then we can start getting pushes all the way to the top. And remember, guys, if you can't get in over here, you can relatively get in over here, you can get in over here. You get what I mean? There's so many scaling opportunities, especially when you understand if something is on an uptrend, then it makes it easier for you to like scale and really trade it the way you need to trade it. You get what I mean? So just making sure that we take it one step at a time. Right, I'll run it back for the guys who are a bit lost still. Right, for NASDAQ, right, we are on a bullish run, guys. Regardless of the situation, NASDAQ has been on an uptrend, as you guys can see. So my anticipation is that there's a fair value gap relatively on the daily time frame, chilling over here. So price hasn't filled it out to the brim, guys. So now I can see that there's a fair value gap. I'll pull out this GAN box. It highlights the half of the fair value gap, and then this is where I'm anticipating to enter via my position. Right, after we enter off of here, we're anticipating price to come in a bit deeper and then push all the way to the top, relatively similar to that. And if you can't enter over here, we can enter over here, we can enter over here. Like if one trade misses you, you can always catch the next one. So that's what I do see for NASDAQ. Let's move over to the next pair. All right, so this is gold on the daily time frame. So now with gold, one thing I've noticed about gold is that it has been pushing, guys. Like as much as I was looking for buys, I had a few buys in. I got taken out at break even for some of them because of the consolidation, but price eventually pushed all the way to the top and eventually hit relatively 3,006 ounces. And as I predicted, guys, for the guys who are watching this, even with the NASDAQ trade, remember what I said, right? So now it relatively hit 3,000 ounces and price pushed all the way to the top. So now we have to look at it from a range now. So this is the range we're looking in. This is the most lowest low and this is the most highest high. And we're going to be trading between this range, right? So now when you go over to the 4-hour time frame, because this is what's going to help us the most, the 4-hour time frame shows us where we're supposed to be looking for buy setups, these fair value gaps that are chilling over here. I'll pull out my GAN box. It's going to show me the premium and discount, right? So the gray being the premium and the yellow being the discount. We want to buy when price gets where? Into the discount. And then in this instance, what we can see is that on the 4-hour time frame, we do have a fair value gap relatively over here, right? And it matches what? It matches the support and resistance as well. You get what I mean? So it looks really nice on the daily time frame as well. Like it looks too clean. I'll show you as well. On the daily time frame, as you can see, we got a daily nice fair value gap over here. So what I am anticipating for gold is for price to retrace relatively into discount. Then we catch our buy setups and then we hold for it to break higher and higher, because gold is overall on a bullish run, guys. So we just have to make sure that we're in these positions and we take them with vigorosity, because we understand that if we can get in at these prices, gold is going to climb. Imagine you got in at this price. you'll be climbing all the way to the top, hitting take profit. And I know of you guys who've been eating from this guy, but that's what I do see for gold. Let's move over to the next pair, guys. All right. So this is Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. And one thing I want you to understand is that this guy's been on a bullish run. We even got a break of structure, right? Price is showing us that it wants to go higher and higher. Regardless whether this is a crypto or this is a currency pair, for us, we understand we want to trade this thing when it gets to a discounted level, right? Now, when I pull out my GAN box from bottom all the way to the top over here, we recently just got into the what? The discount, right? Hence why we got this reaction. But now we got this huge fair value gap on the weekly time frame. Remember, this is on the weekly, right? On the weekly time frame, we got a rejection over here. Now we'll go over to the lower time frame, like daily time frame, right? On the daily time frame, what we can see is that, oh no, price reacted off of this because of these fair value gaps, and there's a fair value gap just below that we can use to execute this trade, right? So now what I can do is pull out this Fibonacci retracement tool, or no, this thing over here, right? This rectangle, so we can highlight this zone over here, and I'll delete this, right? So now what we're looking at now is this fair value gap on the daily time frame, where we can be looking to execute relatively buys all the way to the top. So for me, guys, it's like I'm planning on buying Bitcoin relatively around the 74,000, right? It's my stop loss relatively below 68k, right? And then my take profit all the way to the top, obviously potentially holding it all the way to these highs over here, right? And then this is a 1:6 RR, so we're literally entering at the 74k, and then price is gonna push up all the way to 109k, right? So you need to also understand, guys, this is also institutions pushing price down so they can get better entries. This is why we have fair value gaps. Fair value gaps show inefficiencies in the market that we wouldn't see if we were just normal traders, right? Hence why using fair value gaps in your trading helps you so much, because it shows you where the institutions are putting their orders, the hedge funds, the investment firms, so you can trade alongside those guys, right? So with this instance, we understand that price is just coming lower, so it becomes cheaper for us to buy and really hold all the way to the top. So this is another generational entry. And remember, guys, if you can't catch this one, you can always catch the other ones that are gonna come, especially on the road. So you can catch an entry over here, you can catch another one over here, you can scale in over there as price pushes all the way to the top. So a lot of the pairs are looking really bullish for the upcoming week. It's looking really nice. It's just making sure that you put yourself in a position where you can really scale your income. This is what I'm saying. Prop firm accounts are probably the best thing you're supposed to be looking at, especially this year, guys. Let's move over to the last pair, and then we'll talk about psychology and really end the session off. All right. So this is the USD JPY on the weekly time frame, guys. So the main reason why I'm chilling on the weekly time frame, I'm starting the breakdowns on a much more higher time frame, is just to show you guys where price is relatively. Like, price is at a very good point of reversal, especially in this case. We see that prices came. This is a weekly fair value gap, guys. Remember. So there's two fair value gaps just below. So there's this fair value gap, this fair value gap, and price is inverting, right? So my anticipation is that the upcoming week price is going to push all the way to the top, but now it's our job to find the entry relatively along this clutter, right? So go over to the daily time frame, right? So when you tap into the daily time frame, as we can see on the monthly time frame, this is the fair value gap that we reacted off of, right? And price just pushed all the way to the top. So now I understand that the dollar is going to drop in value before it starts climbing, right? So I'll be looking at this fair value gap that we have over here on where the daily time frame. So this one looks really nice. You can come in with your buy as well. Bingo bango. Relatively over here, stop loss relatively below the low. Take profit all the way to the high, because we understand on the monthly time frame or what, we're climbing all the way to the top, right? So our first take profit will be here, right? Or the overall take profit will be there, right? So now the main reason a lot of guys are asking, okay, cool, how do you know when to enter, or what are you using for confirmation? So for me, I always use things like the GAN box to show me. Look at this, right? Price is in premium, this is in discount. Price has just gone into discount, and I want to be buying it because it's in discount and price is going to push higher and higher. So it's just a patience game, guys, especially for USD JPY. It's looking really nice, especially for the upcoming week. So this one is relatively the same like the other ones. We're relatively waiting for price to come in a bit deeper over here to fill out this fair value gap. And then we can find price really playing around over here, then eventually pushing all the way to the top. And if you can't get in over here, you can get in relatively over here, or there's going to be more opportunities. If the first trade misses you, you can always catch the next one, and that's the name of the game, guys. So just making sure that you always patient and relatively always waiting for your setups, because they usually do pay off at the end of the day. Now, in terms of psychology, because I always wing it, this week, what do I want to talk about? Yes. I actually know what I want to talk about. I've been talking to this about my friend, actually. you never ever attach yourself value to trading, guys, especially to money. Because I remember when I started trading, especially earlier in the stages, you when you start off, you always want more for yourself. When you start off trading the first year, especially, it's like, I can get this M4, I can get this G wagon. You get what I mean? Your expectations are so high, and as soon as you get into the market and you start understanding how this thing actually works, you start realizing it's not as easy as you thought it would have been, right? So now the motivation automatically dies down. But for the guys who are losing motivation, you have to understand it's like, quitting forex, yes, understandable if you want to do it, but you have to also think about it from the long term. Let's say you learn the skill and you master it, right? You're gonna teach this to your kids, you're gonna teach this to the people around you, get what I mean? And it's like, it becomes more than just you having the skill, it's you putting on people in your family, you breaking generational curses. And as much as it is, it's not even about generational curses, it's about like generational wealth. You get what I mean? And it's like, with trading, it's such a good business model, mainly because it allows you to have the luxury of time and the luxury of your money at the same time. Because a lot of people, no matter how much wealth you can be, guys, if you have the money but you don't have the time to really chill and spend it, then you're not really living wealthy. You're not really a wealthy person. You get what I mean? So with this business model, that allows you to really risk, and it's easier to scale. It's not like a business where you need to be finding suppliers. It's literally entries like this can really change your life on a really nice account. On 100K account, a 1:5 is like 5%. That's like $5,000, an easy payout, guys. And these are layup setups. What I call layup setups is the easy ones, the ones that you just get in, get out, the simple ones. Especially for me, I'm personally a trader that likes long-term plays, right? And this is another thing, a topic that I want to talk about today, is that, like, you as a trader need to sit down and ask yourself what type of trader you are. And I'm sure you heard this a minute, like everybody's been telling you this, but from my side, and I've noticed, is that personally, I'm a swing trader. I love the long-term plays, especially in trading. Like trades like this, like the USD JPY. This is potentially a trade that can take close to a month, 2 months to actually take profit. But it's the long-term plays that I'm thinking about. If I can enter over here with a really nice entry, risking a sizable account, then I know that eventually the take profit is going to be very sizable. I'll be able to eat, especially for that time, right? Obviously, there's going to be partial taking along the way, guys. Like, they take profits, but I understand the way I like to trade, and I understand my personality type and what I love in terms of trading, right? And those are the questions you need to ask yourself and really dive deep to understand, like, what more do you want from this, and if you're actually getting the bang for your buck. You get it? I mean, and that's the name of the game, guys. It's just making sure that you consistently on the charts, showing up, taking the setups, whether you lose, whether you win, guys. Rather you take a loss because you're following your plan than rather taking a loss because, oh, you saw a setup, FOMO tapped in, and then you just lost a trade. Trade, guys. Take your time with it. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose setups. That's part of the game. But if there's risk management and risk control, trust me, at the end of the day, you will walk away with something, right? Especially with the risk reward ratio and win rates, especially with these days, guys. With prop firms as well, you're gonna make money. But nonetheless, guys, from my side, like to end the video over here. Appreciate everybody who watched till the end. Make sure to click the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, guys. Make sure to like this video, because in what is this, YouTube likes that a lot, guys. But from my side, it is another week, it is another dollar. Mr. Flem signing out.